Howdy folks, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a topic that was recommended by a viewer in my Discord server, that being LuckyCat53537. Today we're going to be talking about things that I would like to change or add to Animal Jam that I feel like would make the game overall a better experience. Most of these are kind of more so quality of life changes rather than big sweeping updates. So some of these, well, most of these, are going to be little simple things that I feel like Animal Jam could change, but they probably won't. Starting with space, just kind of overall, there's a lot of issues with, in my opinion, space in the game. But the obvious is, den and clothing inventory, which there are upgrades available that you can purchase both in the Phantom Dimension and afterwards with Sapphires. But there is still a limit to those, and longer players who've been playing since the beginning of the game's release, such as myself and others, still have issues with their inventory because they've been collecting items for literal years at this point. I feel like they could add more inventory upgrades, and I honestly do think they will in the future. That's just something I'd like to see. But that isn't the only thing with the whole space thing. Also, buddy list space, especially for really big jammers. I mean, I'm not really big, but Insta jammers and YouTubers, they have a lot of issue with buddy space because everyone wants to buddy them. I know myself, 150 buddies is not even close to enough. I feel like if they wanted to, take some sapphires out of it, they could make them sapphire upgrades or purchase them from the Phantom Dimension, like the inventory upgrades. But also another thing is outfit space. When you're editing your animal, there's an option to save a couple outfits, but it's only something like 10. And that is definitely not enough, especially considering all of the animals that are out now. So I feel like they could add some more outfit spaces. I feel like that would just be a little thing, but would definitely help a lot of players out, especially those who like to decorate their animals. I do think that's a really good idea. Another change that I'd like to see is the ability to mass select pets for Pet Sitter Pros, kind of instead of having to manually go in every single time and search for a pet to add, to kind of just choose all of them at once. Similar to how they upgraded sending pets to pet expeditions, now you can choose as many as you want, though choosing way too many will cause your game to crash, but you can choose a bunch at once and it makes it a lot easier, but they don't do that for Pet Sitter Pros. And for people who have a lot of Pet Sitter Pros, while it doesn't take up an exorbitant amount of time, it does take up enough time that it would be nice to see a change just to make things a little bit easier. This other thing is very specific to one den, that being the studio den, which a lot of content creators and even non-content creators use to record their animals for skits, TikToks, intros, all that kind of stuff. It lets you do green screens or whatever kind of screens you want. You can set up sets, get unique camera angles you can't usually get. I love that den. But I wish that when using it and selecting an animal, one, that your current active animal would show up on your animal list. For whatever reason, most of the time they don't. Also, the ability to search. I'd like to be able to search for what specific animal I want to add. That confuses me because you can search for the animal models for which animal you want to use, but you can't search in the studio den for which animal you want to use for the shot. And I think that's just a little upgrade that would make it a lot easier. And honestly, on the topic of the studio den, that needs a lot of fixes. That den is really glitchy. I feel like with every update, there's a new glitch, and it brings what would be an amazing den, especially for content creators, and makes it a little bit of a pain to use. At the moment, there's a glitch where when you're scrolling through the animals, for whatever reason, the arrows show up in the middle of the screen, so you spend 5 minutes just trying to get the screen to move to get to a different animal. It's just kind of really inconvenient, and I feel like just kind of fixing up that a little bit would help a lot of players. These next two things have to do with trading, the first one being the trade timer. I don't know if any of you have noticed, I'm sure you have, but if you sit in a trade without adding something or without starting the trade at all, so if you get in the trade and just sit there and chat, which is really convenient for people who don't want to go to each other's dens or deal with the chat restrictions of Jamograms, it will kick you out. After, I believe it's 3 minutes of chatting without adding anything or removing anything, you will get kicked out of the trade, and it'll say something like, this user is no longer available, or something along those lines. It is super inconvenient, and I don't understand why there needs to be a timer for trades. Maybe there's a way that it could be exploited, but I don't know what exactly that could be. I mean, all it's really doing is limiting the sort of conversations you can have, which is not only inconvenient because a lot of people use trade chats as a way to talk to someone who's not in the same den as you, or if you don't want to deal with jamograms being a pain. It also means that people can't negotiate as long, and overall I just think it's stupid. But I feel like they should get rid of that. And then also, I think there should be an option to, how you can turn trade chat on or trade chat off. What if there was a third option that would be initiated by the person who starts the trade? which could have you use the old trade style. So instead of going into the big trade screen, you could just add 4 items, or if they really want to do it, add 24 items to offer for the item, so it just shows up right away and you can either accept or decline, like it used to be back before the massive trading system update. I feel like that's another thing. This thing would be a little more difficult to add. Of course, I wouldn't know, but I'm sure somewhere in the code they still have the old trading system. So I think they should just make that an option for antisocial jammers like myself and people who don't want to sit through like 10 minutes of people scrolling through their items to add. I just feel like it would be convenient. Another convenience thing would be the ability to join Mesoterra from the map. I mean, obviously you could do that if you're a Archosaur, but like different animal hideouts. In animal hideouts, let's say that I'm playing as an Arctic wolf and I want to go to the fox hideout. If I click the fox hideout, I can still go there. It just automatically switches my animal to a fox. I don't see why that isn't the case with Mesoterra. That's confusing. I know it bugs a bunch of people, so that'd be a really good convenience thing. Another convenience thing would be the ability to favorite dens, pets, and avatars. Kinda just how you can sort by your wish list on the item explorer. Imagine if you could favorite different outfits or different dens or like stuff like that. So you could sort your items by favorite, and it makes it a lot more convenient to get stuff that you're looking for. In addition to that, talking about the My Shop Explorer, I would love to see blueprints, crystals, and stuff like that in the My Shop Explorer, and the ability to add species of pets onto your wish list. You can literally add anything onto your wish list that is tradable except for like species of pets, which I think is weird. I don't see why that would be an issue. Obviously, it could be an issue if like you're adding specific colors of pets, but then again, they let you add specific alphas, which are like unique colors that only one person has. So I don't see why you're not able to add pets to your wish list. I think that would be convenient, not only for trading. I would love for people to be able to see that I collect water bears and badgers. It would also just be super easy for My Shop Explorer since you can already search by wish list. I don't know. I just feel like that's a little thing that would really help out. Another thing that would really help out, in my opinion, is time displays for DNA vials. When you're incubating a DNA vial, like there is a timer. You can't get it right away. You gotta wait. And I know, at least I'm pretty sure the amount of time you have to wait is like internally consistent. But for whatever reason, it doesn't give you a timer, which I don't get, because for like every other time-based feature in the game, it does give you a timer, like sending pets on expeditions, or like the super box, or even for your pet sitter pros. So I don't get why you don't get a time display for that. You just click it, it says, oh, come back later. I just think that's annoying. I feel like they should add a display for that. Another thing that I really wish would happen, and these are going to be 2 things from Animal Jam Classic specifically that I think they should bring onto Animal Jam Playwild, is 1, the ability to turn off your jags. Like entirely. I do not want people jagging me sometimes, even buddies. I just need some me time. But you can't turn off jags. I think you should be able to in Playwild. I don't see why that's not an option. And also, I think you should be able to turn on your jags publicly, so anybody can jag you. That would make sending people autographs so much easier. And since we don't have a jammer wall on Playwild, I just think it would be fun for community stuff. I mean, you could do it on Classic. I don't see why I can't do it on Playwild. It's not a safety concern if it's on Classic, so I don't see it. Another thing from Classic is I think that you should have it so that when you block a player, they can't enter your den. At least I'm pretty sure on Classic, if you block someone, the person you blocked cannot go to your den. Except this isn't a thing at all on Playwild, which is beyond me, because all blocking someone does is 1, make it so that you can't see their messages. They can see yours. So, like, it's strange. And then also they can't trade you, but that means that sometimes I'll block someone. They'll be, being mean to me, and I'll go to my den to hang out with someone, and they follow me around. They might not say anything because I can't see their chat, but I just don't get it. It's just a quality of life thing and something I feel like should be obvious for blocked players. I don't know. It's just not in Playwild. I don't know. Another thing, not in Playwild, but also not in Classic, is I think that, you could turn your den to private, buddies only, or public. I feel like you should be able to set it to starred players only. This would help a lot, especially for bigger jammers like myself, where I have a full buddy list all the time, and not everyone on my buddy list is actually my friend. Some of them are fans, some of them are people that I'm just commissioning, and I think it would be convenient to be able to set your den to starred people only so that I can ensure that only my actual friends are going in my den. Because sometimes I'll just want to have, a personal conversation or just hang out with some friends while I'm on a voice call, and then I'll have a bunch of fans come into my den because they're buddied, and it just gets a little frustrating. Though I do see why that could be kind of like a waste of time for them to implement, but I think there are people out there who would appreciate it. Another thing I would really like to see, but I honestly don't see actually happening, and this is also from Classic, is the ability to gift players through Jamagrams. I don't see that happening as much as I would love it to happen, and if I were in charge, I'd make it happen. It probably won't, and I'm saying that because obviously you have the Valentine's Day gifting boxes and then the Christmas tree gifting trees, and so if they had gifting all year round, what's the point? But this is going to be maybe unpopular, but I have a little solution to that. Make some sort of gifting apparatus for every month. I know you could totally tie in something so that there's a different thing every month, and I know that they're doing this so that you can, spend sapphires and buy these items, and so I don't see why they don't just do one for every month. Then people are buying even more sapphires, and that makes Albert more relevant during the off-season. Don't know, makes sense to me. But if you want to go even further, you can add gifting to Jamagrams. But make it member only. Make it so only members can send and receive gifts. This would be a really good way to get money. More people would want membership. It would add more perks to membership. Sure, non-members would be upset, but to be honest, whenever a new member feature is introduced, non-members are going to be upset anyways. And even then, non-members can still gift people using the gifting tree and the gifting boxes during their respective holidays. So I think that could be a neat way to implement gifting, all year round. Though I think this is going to be a little more, a controversial one, so kind of let me know what you think about that. I was really excited when they added gifting during, the holidays, and then when I realized that this isn't going to be an every month sort of deal, I got a little frustrated, especially since, you can get stuff from Albert, at least at this point, all year round. In fact, they're even adding new stuff with Albert during the off-season, which doesn't make sense since I don't know a lot of people who are actively hoarding the heart stamps. I just think it don't make sense, but let me know what you think about that one specifically. Also, changing your pack allegiance. Why can't you do that? Once you make a pack with a certain allegiance, that's it, you're done. You choose Greeley, you're stuck with Greeley, and you can't change that unless you completely disband the pack, which I think is ridiculous. You can change your pack name, you can change your pack crest, you just can't change your Alpha Alliance, and I don't know why? I feel like that should be a given because, I used to be a huge Greeley fan when I thought I was emo, but no, I like Sir Gilbert, but I had to completely make a new pack when I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to not be emo anymore, but I just think it's silly. I feel like that'd be a really quick and easy thing to implement, but we don't have it. Another thing I should have mentioned earlier, but I don't feel like going back and editing it in because that'll be a whole hassle when talking about storage is masterpiece slots. Please give us more slots to make masterpieces, please. You just updated the masterpiece system, gave it a complete overhaul, but also added no more storage to save more masterpieces, which for players like me who love to make masterpieces, we have to start making alt accounts just to make new artwork, and it is exhausting. So please, that's just... I would just love that. Another thing that I would absolutely love is if we could mass use pet tokens. So when going to the machine in Appendale to get a token pet, why can't I use 25 at once? Kind of like if you got a loot box, but instead of getting one pull, you got 30 pulls and it shows you all of the different 30 pulls all at once. Why can't I do 25 pet token pulls? I feel like that would be really convenient, not just for, saving time, but also for videos. It could bring up a lot of anticipation from when you're getting them. In my opinion, would make it a lot more exciting when pulling tokens. I haven't heard anyone else complain about this, but this is something I feel like the public at large would love. Now, this next part, ending the video, is going to be the more absurd stuff that I don't see happening, and that would require a lot more implementation and have a lot more issues with them, but just I personally would like to see them. Starting with public pack runs. I think there should be some sort of pack run that you can join regardless of what pack you're in, or what your alpha is. Of course, I don't think this would count towards your pack score, so it wouldn't put you on the leaderboard, but I do think it would be a fun way to socialize and a fun thing for streamers to do. Another thing that I don't see happening, but I would love to see, is more animal hideouts. And you don't even have to keep it to one animal, because at this point we have so many animals, making one for every single animal is absurd. But let's see like a mixture, like a canine one, where any canine can go. Maybe one for all the domestic pets, or one for all the pets you can find in Australia. I just like more places to explore, especially as a player who's been playing for so long. And I'm gonna kind of clump all these together, but some stuff from Animal Jam Classic I like to see. Obviously adventures. Everyone wants to see adventures. I don't know anyone who wouldn't. The underwater lands, I know those didn't go over too well in Classic. They weren't really utilized, but I know, and I've heard a lot of Play Wild players would love to see it. Also Belush. I know that Mesoterra is where Belush should be, but if you go to Mesoterra, under the waterfall, there is this mysterious door. Just have the entrance to Belush be through Mesoterra. I just think that's a cool idea. And then my last thing that I would say that I would like for this video and that I would like to add to Animal Jam is more phantom potions. That is to say, you know those summoning phantom potions? Why don't we have one for different types of phantoms? Maybe they have different attack patterns or different ways of shoving you away. Like, let's say maybe some of them are timed, where if you don't hit them certain many times within this window, they fly away. Like, maybe we could see some proto-phantoms or spiky phantoms or regular phantoms instead of the big heavy phantoms. Or maybe a potion that you can even summon the old Phantom Mira from that one period of time in which the Mira statue became phantomized. I think that just adding a more variety of phantom potions could be really cool. Maybe you could even change like what rewards you can get from them. Or maybe they could be more expensive. Like, here's an idea. Why not have a potion that is super expensive in the Phantom Dimension that summons the Phantom King? And they would have like an insane amount of hit points, but you can get really cool items from them. That's kind of like out there, but I think that would be a really cool thing. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I know it's a little bit more of a rambly, fast-paced one, but I wanted something more casual. I am working on two what I would say are more stereotypical commentary, controversial, spicy topic type videos. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. Also, for people who have been in my comments asking, hey, when are you gonna upload again? When are you gonna upload again? While I haven't like officially stated anything, my goal for uploading on my channel is going to be, I'm going to try to put one long form commentary style video or video like this every week. And then I'll supplement it with like however many YouTube shorts that I want to put out, which are typically just my TikToks, but just for YouTube. So that's kind of my plan, because making these videos take a long time. Like, this video is going to be like 22, 23 minutes, maybe a little less once I like shorten it down. But recording, I must have spent like an hour recording, and then editing takes like 3 or 4 hours. So this takes a while. And I am very prone to burnout. So I just like making one of these a week, and I hope you guys understand. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know that if you could change Animal Jam, what would you add? Or what would you get rid of? Or just what would you change? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all around.